Hi, my name is Gayla Tofton. I live with my husband Perry and five backyard chickens in Wenatchee, Washington, the center of Washington State. We live in a deep valley on the Columbia River, and to the west of us is the Cascade Mountains and Glacier Peak and all kinds of, you know, alpine wilderness and hiking and backpacking and four-wheeling and all those kinds of fun things. And to the east of us, it's all desert. And so then we have, some lakes, but lots of sagebrush and it's hot. So we kind of got the best of both worlds. It's just a very beautiful place to live. I grew up here, and if you've ever had an apple or a pear, this says Stamilt on it, or Chelan, trout Chelan. Um, it probably came from here. We are the apple capital of the world, and 50% of the pears that are grown um, come from Wenatchee. So I grew up in an apple orchard. What I don't like about Wenatchee is it's getting really cramped. People come here to retire because it's so beautiful. And so now our town, the valley used to be all orchards, and now it's all houses. And I kind of feel like we're all on top of each other, and there's not a lot of room to grow. So it's kind of congested now. Um, so I miss that small town atmosphere that we used to have. What brings me joy these days is my work. I grew up in a church where women were to be silent. I did children's ministry, Sunday school for 25 years. So these days, I um, I am a pastor, and that brings me joy. I am the bookends pastor, those closest to birth and death. I do children's ministry and seniors in assisted living. We do church services for them. So I have found that they're both very similar when they have dementia. Their earliest memories stay with them. So those songs and memory verses and prayers that they learned when they were 5 or 6 years old are still with them. So we do lots of singing, reading stories, and saying, the Lord's Prayer, prayers that they've memorized. And I love the kids. For me, when I preach, it's important to be very simple so that it's understandable. Um, if you get, I think that if you get too complex, um, you lose the beauty of the gospel. It's very simple, and so just keep it simple. But um, for me, I think God uses preaching um, to lead us preachers to not only impart the word, but to lead people as a group on this Christian journey. It's much easier to tell a group one thing than it is to tell everyone individually. But I think as a group, as the body of Christ, we get to experience, um, this conversation with God together. And I'm always amazed that when I do preach, how there will be 5 or 6 different things that people get from it. And it's like, I didn't even know I said that. But, that's the beauty. We all take something from it. Um, I haven't been preaching long, so I'm really excited to get to preach all of these sermons and to practice. Um, I think, there's something I've wanted to do. I've heard this call since I was 15, and I've waited 40 years for this. So I just can't wait. I enjoy, um, let's see what else is there. Oh, I hope to grow in writing. I don't like to write, and I've come to realize that part of that is because I was told to be silent. Um, I do write. I have journals, so I guess I do like to write. It's just I'm not sure what I'm doing when I'm writing. Um, so that's something that I've had to work through here at Fuller. Um, the writing, it's been the hardest aspect for me. But I hope to get better at it, and I hope it becomes something that I truly love to do. And um, you practice that thing that's the hardest. Practice it so that it's just automatic. Um, so I'm just excited to get to do this, and I hope that if I share a prayer request, it would be that the writing comes easy for me so that I can focus on the preaching part. I see preaching as holy ground, and it's just a privilege to get to participate with God and our community in this way. Thank you. You guys have a good week.